Hello viewers. In today's video, we will visit the Union Cemetery, a very historic cemetery. We will visit two grave sites in particular, one of a teenage boy and the other of a prominent, wealthy businessman. We will learn a little bit about the history of these grave sites. We will wander around the cemetery to see what we can capture, and we will also hear, perhaps, the voice of the dead. The Union Cemetery is one of Calgary, Alberta's oldest, but it isn't the first cemetery. There used to be a cemetery called Shaganappy Hill, but the cemetery was in disrepair and was across the street from cattle feedlots, making for a less than peaceful place of rest. Today, the old cemetery is the site of the Shaganappy Golf Course. In the late 1890s, the bodies were removed from this location and reburied in the new cemetery, the Union Cemetery. The cemetery is the resting place to early settlers and city builders, and has some very interesting gravestones and individuals buried there. I was drawn to this tombstone because of the unique art, a ship's anchor, a strange one considering where Calgary is located. But the anchor represents something other than what we think of. In a future video, we will discuss cemetery symbolism in detail, as it is quite fascinating. The death of Fred Collings is interesting and sad. It was early evening on December 11th, 1895, when Fred Collings and his friend Frank Martin were target shooting near the town's coal sheds. They went to the telegraph office where Frank was employed and cleaned the revolvers before replacing just 2 cartridges, one in each gun. They then turned the cylinders so that they believed they could not fire the actual bullet. In some kind of boyish fun, they wanted to recreate a duel. They would raise their weapons and pull the trigger on the count of 3. So they walked a few paces, counted to 3, and fired at each other. Fred Collings pulled the trigger and click. Frank's revolver, however, discharged. The bullet lodged into Fred's skull. Local surgeons tried to remove the bullet over and over again, but could not. And after a brave struggle for life, Fred died 20 days later. He was only 13 years old. You will notice another slab below this unique tombstone. That is an extension piece honoring Fred's sister, who passed away at a later time. The next tombstone and grave site we are going to talk about today is interesting because of the design and of what was heard and recorded near it. The huge tombstone is impressive and one of the most unique in the cemetery. This is the grave site of an industrialist named John Breckenridge. He was a prominent businessman in the railroad, lumber, and building trades in Ontario, Manitoba, BC, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. The amazingly carved statue of the female atop the tombstone is what drew me here. But I want you to take a listen to what I heard and what I recorded as I approached it. I will play this clip several times. Comment below and tell me what you hear. I will then play the clip again and tell you what I hear. Let's see what was recorded. What do you think this says? Do you hear what I hear? Leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so that you do not miss any future videos. We will continue on our tour of this cemetery. We will try to cover a couple interesting tombstones and see if anything other paranormal pops up. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. Thank you and take care.